Hey there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's crossdressing story. Today we are going to share a story called Mom Caught Me in Crossdressed Part 5. By Teddy. For more interesting and exclusive stories, please subscribe to my channel and support me at Patreon. Want to be as ourselves as we talked about other things such as movies, hobbies, what television programs we liked and so on. I can honestly say that I forgot Hazel was a 24-year-old man called Anthony weird, and I don't think that they even considered the fact that I was a 16-year-old boy called Graham. The party went on till the early evening, and despite it being early summer it grew chilly in the garden, so the party moved into the house. It was a good thing that it was such a big house. As I talked to the other members, I learned more about this hobby of mine, how it was not a perversion, that it was not a fetish, that it did not mean that I was gay or even that I wanted to become a girl. I also learned from a doctor who had come dressed as a nurse, even though it wasn't a fancy dress, as such that medical research had shown that men who dealt with stress by inventing a female persona for themselves and dressed as women were healthier and more compassionate and in general led less stressful lives because they chose to wear dresses. I had not even considered this. My mom, after catching up with Luna, had spoken to the others and also learned more through hearing their personal stories. I think my mom learned as much, if not more, than I did. Another couple who were present at the party were a brother and sister called Jilly and Tammy, respectively, aged 16 and 19 also respectively, and were wearing matching black dresses. Jilly was a slender girl with a long mane of auburn hair that she wore in a tight bun on the top of her head, a style that suited her. I was also trying to ignore how attractive she actually was. She had almond-shaped eyes that were a clear blue, and if that was not enough, she had a smile that could melt an iceberg. Tammy's real name was Thomas, which in her youth had been shortened to Tommy and led to her being called Tammy. She was pretty as well. A crop of short brown hair was cut in a feminine style. Her eyes were also blue, but they were a pale blue with a hint of green. I've been dressing up since I was 9, Tammy explained. I'd been wanting to dress up for ages. I don't know why, and I still don't know anyway. I asked my mother if I could try some girls' clothes. I've told him since that he could have asked me, but he didn't want to embarrass me. Jill said not that I would have been embarrassed anyway. Mom agreed grudgingly, admittedly, but she borrowed some of Jill's clothes and let me try them on. She later said that if she let me dress up, it would be a phase that would pass. She threw her hands up to indicate her dress. It clearly hasn't, she said with a large smile. She fine with it now, said Jilly. She's given up trying to stop him. Tammy rolled her eyes. No one can stop me or make me stop, she thought for a moment. I'm not sure why I dress up. All I know is that I like dressing up. It makes me a better person. Jilly was nodding emphatically. Tom is a great big brother, but she's also a really great big sister. Tammy looked happy, tearful but happy. She embraced her little sister. A thanks, Jilly. Haley, who been mingling throughout the party, entered the room. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the party. Tammy leapt to her feet and embraced her. Hey Haley, you should really sit with us. We're having a great time with Graham. She's great. She smiled at me. We should go out together sometime. Frida entered the room, an idea forming in her mind, judging by the look on her face. Well, we're all working tomorrow as it's back to normal, so how about going shopping at the weekend, all 5 of us? Jilly asked. Frida nodded. That's a great idea. She turned to me. That is, of course you want to come. I'd like to. I'll need to check with my mom, I said, but I'm sure she'll be fine with it. Jill beamed with delight. It turned out that Tammy was a friend of Haley's from their work at a local call center and had discovered that they shared the same hobby when they arrived at work in drag for a fancy dress charity day. Haley had come as French maid and Tammy had worn a second-hand wedding dress. Tammy had joined the group about 6 months later. We fell into discussing our various and varied lives. Soon all 5 of us were sat around the dining table, still holding the remains of the buffet and chatting like old friends. We discussed movies, hobbies, our plans for the future, all manner of things, and of course we were discussing fashion. By 8:30 the party was all but over and people were leaving. Amelia and Luna were in the kitchen discussing their lives and how they would stay connected this time around. After admiring each other dresses, Haley, Frida and Tammy had taken themselves up to Haley's room to show Tammy her range of clothes, and I was left in the dining room with Jill discussing my favorite topic, Marvel Comic Universe films. It seemed that Jill had the same interests in me. We both science fiction movies, especially the MCU movies. We both Had a PlayStation, we both liked reading, we even rode bicycles. I had my old street racer and she had a 21-gear mountain bike, though only 19 of those gears were actually working. I found myself offering to take a look at it for her. I was comfortable in her company and got the impression that she felt the same way. I'll admit, made it. She was an attractive young woman and I was attracted to her, but was it mutual? At 4 to 9 Mom appeared and said that it was time to go home. I said goodbye to Haley and Frida at the door as we walked to our car. Tammy and Jilly were walking to their mom's car, who had arrived to pick them up. As Tammy was getting into the car, Jilly rushed over to me. "I'll see you soon, Graham, and I hope I get see Graham sooner." She paused for a moment and then kissed me on the cheek. I was stunned for a moment, unable to speak. Then my brain rebooted and I was able to respond, "I look forward to it. I'll see you soon." Jilly turned and was walking back to her waiting car. "You got my number, right?" "Yeah, yes," I said. "I'll call you later." "You'd better, Jilly." Then she got in the car, pulling away. My mom was gazing at me in a shrewd manner, her smile wide and pleasant. "I think you've pulled Graham." I rolled my eyes and sighed in an exasperated fashion. "Oh please Mom, I hardly know her." Still, I was thinking that possibly Jill might have been interested in me. I was so wrapped up trying to think things through that when Mom offered to buy pizza for tea, I agreed. It took me a while before it sank in that I was in the takeaway with the money alone. Mom had stayed in the car. I think I managed the task without arousing suspicion. Back at home, I got changed out of the white dress, the lingerie, and wiped the makeup from my face. I dressed in a fresh pair of boxers and socks with a pair of dark blue jeans and a t-shirt. I was about to leave my room when the phone rang. I felt a swell of joy when I saw the caller ID. "Hey Jill, you okay?" "I'm fine, just checking that you got home okay." "Oh yeah, we made it. We're just about to sit down and watch a movie." "Good, that's good. And speaking of movies, I was thinking about 2-for-1 cinema tickets on Wednesday. We could go to the cinema in town on Wednesday evening. They're still showing that science fiction film we talked about. Do you want to go?" "Hell yeah." "Do you want me to come as Graham or Graham as Graham?" "Of course. I think Graham is cute and all, but I want to get to know Graham." I sort of. She paused and I waited, fearful of what she might say next. "You know what, forget it. I don't even like you and I prefer it if we were just friends. I'm sorry I bothered you. Goodbye." "Okay, I'm going to say it." She eventually continued, "I fancy you and I'd like to meet you as a boy. We're already good friends. I'm hoping we can get closer." "Okay," I said, my confidence rising and making me add, "I fancy you too, and if you like me as Graham, you'll love me as Graham." Her laughter was heartwarming. "I hope so." We made arrangements to meet up at the cinema. I decided to get my one and only suit cleaned and pressed. I had already made a good impression and I wanted to continue making good impressions. I turned my phone off and headed downstairs. Mom was already in the kitchen, setting out the pizzas on plates and sorting out the accompanying fries and drinks. "Hey, you're Graham again?" "Yeah, I don't want to be a girl all the time, and as I've spent the weekend dressed as girl, I'd like to be for a boy for a while." Mom nodded in understanding fashion. "Okay, no problem. Who were you talking to?" "Jilly. She invited me out to the cinema on Wednesday." Mom smiled brightly. "Who has my boy got himself a date possibly? So are you going as Graham or no?" "She wants to meet me as Graham." "That's great. That's wonderful. My little boy is growing up into a confident young woman." I almost choked on my drink. I had just taken a sip of Coke and it went down the wrong way as I tried to laugh and swallow at the same time. Mom watched with a smile on her face as I composed myself. "There's just one thing." I looked up from the pizza that was cooling on my lap. "Oh, if you're going out on your first date, young man, you're going to do it properly." That's all for now. See you in the next video. For more interesting stories, please subscribe to our channel, and for exclusive content, please join us on Patreon. Link in the comment.